Hey everyone, it's me, QP83. So we went to New York for a wedding, and my mom and brother and I kind of made it a little mini vacation. We went out a couple days earlier. The wedding was in Syracuse, New York, but we went out earlier to fly into New York City and do some touristy things there. We ended up doing more touristy, like different touristy things than I've ever done, because this was like my 6th trip to New York. For some reason, I'd like to go other places. People seem to think I love traveling to New York, and it's fine. I like New York. It's a cool place to go, but I would like to see like California or Vancouver or literally any other place. So hopefully my next like travel vlog deals with some other place that does not have like New York as part of it. I don't know, just anywhere. Really, California or Vancouver. That's where I want to go. But anyways, we went to New York City for 2 days. We did cool things. We did Ellis Island. We did Statue of Liberty. We wanted to do Central Park. I wanted to do it so bad, but my brother was kind of walked out, I guess. He was just tired of walking. So we didn't get to do Central Park. We did a whole lot of shopping in Times Square, window shopping, technically. So in this video, you'll see some from Ellis Island. You'll see some pictures from the Statue of Liberty. You'll see some pictures from LineFriends, Hershey's, M&M, some of the bigger, fancier, louder sort of stores that you'll find in Times Square, because we definitely walked around there. It's a fun place to walk around, especially at night. So if you're in Times Square, I mean, if you're in New York City, visit Times Square at night, because it's a very cool place, and it's always populated. It's crazy. Like, you'll walk around and it'll be like 8 o'clock at night and there's still thousands of people in the street, it seems like. This go around, it rained a lot, which was a new sort of thing for me. We've never been to New York with rain. We've been to New York with snow, high winds, frigid cold, super hot temperatures, but never rain. So now I think I've basically hit all of the elements. So yeah, there were some interesting challenges with the rain, but I'll talk about that in the video. But that's basically what this is going to be. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope it makes some sense to you. I hope it's interesting. Because I want to experiment with some of these vlog style posts, because they are kind of fun. And there's not a lot of product coming out in like toy shelves that I can find at my local stores anymore. So like, it's hard to review things when you don't see them or you can't find them. So I wanted to kind of bring in some more like vlog style stuff, and just bear with me as I learn the craft. But I hope you enjoyed this video.
Are you doing live?
No, not live. Hey everyone, I am standing in the middle of Times Square. It is raining and it's been raining all day, so it's been interesting wandering around Times Square with people and umbrellas, which you would not think would be an issue, but it kind of is sometimes. I've chosen just to wear a hoodie and get wet, as opposed to picking up an umbrella and being part of like the super annoying crowd of umbrella people who like don't care who they're gonna hit with their umbrella, or like where they're walking, or if they're too close to people with like the tips of the umbrellas. I don't know, I just have issues with umbrellas right now, so forgive me if you're one of those people that enjoys wandering around busy streets with umbrellas. But anyways, we're in New York City, so I will cut to the actual city so you can see some of Times Square. The city is always lit up. Literally, even at night, like I doubt these things turn off, so it's always lit up in some way. It's getting a little better because the rain is not as bad. These little areas where just places to eat are kind of nice. New York City, for those who don't know, is a hop-in place. Very loud all the time. We heard more sirens than I think we've ever heard. Day, night, it was just like emergency sirens. So, lovely times here. Nintendo store, and there's so many cute things. I want it all. FAO Schwartz store. And it's so cool, guys. We are in the FAO Schwartz store, which reopened, which is awesome. Look at this! Barbie Land in FAO Schwartz. This is where all Toys R Us's Barbies went. Go on!
Hey! Store, and it's a mess. It's super fun though. I want pajamas. It's a really cool store.
waiting to catch a ferry to Ellis Island. But cute little park, small but colorful. First public park to be established in New York, March 12, 1733. Took a ferry to, well, we took the train to Battery Park from Manhattan. We took a ferry from Battery Park to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. So we did both of those things. You do them all in one day. You can actually do, I mean, you can get it done in like a half day, really. The ferry rides were not as infrequent as I thought they might be. Like, I assumed we'd be waiting in line for the ferry from island to island for longer than we did. Statue of Liberty is super cool. If you do choose to go up to the pedestal, just know that that's 195 steps. There is an elevator, but you'll wait in a long line. So if you do go to the Statue of Liberty and you want to get to the pedestal, it's 195 steps up. And then if you want to go all the way up to the crown, it's a lot more than that, which we did not do. Pedestal is super cool though, because you can see it from, you can't see the Statue of Liberty well, but if you have like a telephoto lens, maybe you can get some cool angles. Mostly it gives you a good view of like the water around. You know, you can see what the Statue of Liberty sees. So while you might not get a great shot of the Statue of Liberty from the pedestal, it is kind of fun to go and walk up there. Just taking the ferry though and seeing the Statue of Liberty is kind of worth it, because that was just super cool, and if you have a good camera, you can get some really good shots.
Beyond the Statue of Liberty, you might see that there is on a bridge in the distance. Should there be any unexpected vessel movement, please hold handrails whenever.
This is the Statue of Liberty. This is from the pedestal on the Statue of Liberty. It's very And this is what the Statue of Liberty overlooks. Mom! Hi! Ellis Island, also really neat because, I mean, if you're here, especially in the States, you probably have someone in your family that went through Ellis Island. So that was really neat to be walking on the same floors and the same, like, land as my ancestors, because we definitely had people go through there. So that was really cool. And we actually had people go through the first Ellis Island buildings, the ones made of wood that burned down. And we had people come through the reconstructed buildings. So that was pretty cool to think that I was walking like in the same place as my ancestors. The actual Ellis Island, just an FYI, may not be super interesting if you have like young children, because there's not a ton, it's a lot of museums, like exhibits, you go through and you see pictures and you read the details. But if you have a child with you, a young child, I don't think they'll get much from it. So just keep that in mind. The Statue of Liberty would be cool to see, but Ellis Island may be more for like the older kids or the people that have some interest in it, because I don't think younger children will get as much from it. So one other really cool thing that you should do if you go to the Statue of Liberty or Ellis Island or Battery Park is to check out the sea glass carousel. So cool. You're in a fish, it lights up, and instead of just going up and down like a carousel horse would, these go like left to right, they go up and down. It's all to like symphony sort of music, like nice pretty music, and it's a very cool thing to do. It's $5 per ride, but it's like a 3-minute ride, so that's not that bad, and it's just so cool how they move. It's the most unique carousel I've ever been on, and it's definitely a highlight for, it was a highlight for me, it was a highlight for my mom. It was just really, really cool. So that's the Sea Glass Carousel right in Battery Park.
Next to me and being in compliance.
We went to the Line store. It is relatively new. I think it opened late last year in Times Square, and it's based on like the, I guess, mascots and the stickers and stuff you can use in the Line messaging app. Line is a popular messaging app in Asia. I had it a couple years ago and no one else had it, so I was like, well, why do I have this if no one's going to use it? So I don't know if it ever became big here in the States, but in Asia, it's huge. So it's Line, and it's LineFriends New York, and the store has a bunch of BTS stuff. So if you're a BTS fan and you're going to New York City, hit up LineFriends in the heart of Times Square, because you'll love it. You'll leave poor, but you will love it. So there's like mascot, there's stuff for all like the BTS boys, like their mascot figures or whatever. And I've recently come into enjoying NCT 127 because I think their Superhuman song is really good. So I kind of was like, all right, if I'm gonna do a K-pop band, I'll obsess about these guys. But BTS, I never jumped on that train. But if you're a BTS fan, the Line store is the place to be. It's kind of like Sanrio. Unfortunately, the Sanrio store in New York closed. I think this place may have taken over that building. If not, it was right around the corner from it, because that's where Sanrio, as far as I remember, it was. But it's kind of like that, where they have cool little pillows and standees and folders, notebooks, that sort of thing. Super cute store. I bought a soap dish with a brown bear on it because I was like, this is so cute, and I needed to buy something. So LineFriends in Times Square, totally worth hitting up. On one of these, we decided to go to the Intrepid Airspace Museum. So they have some cool stuff. So obviously there's the Intrepid, like the big ship, and there's a whole history behind it. And then they have a bunch of old like airplanes, military planes, that sort of thing, which are all on the flight deck. And then they have what I think is the coolest thing, which is the Enterprise. It's the prototype of the Enterprise, which was like part of the space shuttle program. And the Enterprise is huge, like it's amazing, and it's this huge space exploration hangar. And so there's all these cool things you can learn about, you know, space exploration and that sort of stuff. But like just to see how big this space shuttle prototype is, it's amazing to see in person. That is honestly what I would tell people to go to the Intrepid Museum for. It's to see the Enterprise, which is the coolest space shuttle you'll ever get to see in real life. It's just massive. So that's basically the highlights of our trip to New York City. We then went over to Syracuse. We went to Destiny Mall a couple times, which is like a huge mall, and I feel like I only saw like this much of it. At the museum that we went to most in Syracuse, downtown Syracuse, the Museum of Science and Technology, they had what I think was one of my mom's favorite things. They had like a toothpick world. This guy from Syracuse makes crazy buildings out of toothpicks. Like he'll recreate the Eiffel Tower or like literally any building, anything, he can make it out of toothpicks. So we did that thing. We saw all the buildings and it was amazing. And he just uses glue and tape and toothpicks. So cool. So I wanted to share some photos of that with you too. Like literally one of my mom's favorite things. In the Most Museum, the Museum of Science and Technology or whatever, they also had what I really liked, which was an AR like sand sort of thing to allow you to change the landscape on a table by just like manipulating the sand on the table, and like on top of the sand there was a projection of land, and as you manipulated that table, then like the graphics would change. I'm explaining this super poorly, but it was an AR sand table where you can manipulate the world by just moving the sand. That was really cool. They also had a climbing wall, which I sucked at. Completely sucked at. I need strength. I'm like a weakling. I need to go to more fitness classes.
This is a video.
This is a video. Did you enjoy the trip?
I did. I am completely exhausted though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a favorite part?
Oh, the sea glass carousel. Besides my brother's wedding. But the sea glass carousel, really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, and the toothpick city. That was cool.
That was neat too.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. That's all I wanted to know. If you're ever in downtown Syracuse, check out I think it's called the Niagara Building. It's an old Art Deco style building. Super cool. Definitely worth taking a peek at, and bring a camera because there's some cool details on there you don't see on other buildings. So that was worth it. But overall, we had a great time traveling through the state of New York. We took planes, trains, automobiles, ferries, you name it, we took it to get where we needed to go. So yeah, it was a good time. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't completely confusing. And I guess let me know what you think in the comment area. I want to do more vlog style videos just because product is hard to come by for reviews at this point, because I don't know if they're just my stores aren't getting things, but there's not a lot that's worth spending money on. And unfortunately, I need to spend money on the stuff that I show here on the channel. So I get to do more of my own stuff, but also I wanted to kind of experiment with like this sort of vlog style video. So I'll get the hang of it eventually. But hopefully it was interesting to watch, and let me know what you think in the comments. And I will, and if you have any questions, obviously leave them down there too. But I will talk to you soon. Bye.